absolutely phenomenal. Look at that body shot, man.
Oh, I want a title shot next.
Kia ora koutou katoa, no mai hara mai ki UFC on Sky, ko Ravinda hunia tōku ingoa. You've been watching dramatic scenes from UFC in Singapore, where the former featherweight champion not only got the KO win over the Korean Zombie, but the Zombie then laid his gloves down to announce his retirement in front of a stadium full of fans, so in very fitting fashion. This weekend, though, the UFC returns to Paris for the second time ever, where the hometown hero, Cyril Gane, will be main event, and he joins us now. Kia ora, Cyril, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. This is a pleasure.
Well, Cyril, how exciting that just, a year has passed and you get to main event in your hometown of Paris once again.
The feeling is exactly the same. It's different than when I go to Vegas or New York or everywhere. Like, the feeling is really better. You don't have any trouble at first. The jet lag, you don't have that also. And because also you are front to the crowd, to the family, your friend. The fight week is a little bit shorter. Everything is better. Everything is better. And the feeling is more like, not like a party, but like, how you say that in English, festive, a big party. Not big party, it's not a big party, just party, but the big event, this is a pleasure. This is the celebration, exactly.
Last time, of course, you faced Taito Ivasa. You had that amazing KO result. What was the energy like, and are you expecting the same thing again?
Of course. Last year's put a little bit more experience. I had more experience for me, for myself, and for the French fighter like Benoit Saint-Denis, for the French fighter, and you see. And yes, it will be not a surprise now, because we know already how kind of crowd we're gonna have, and yeah. Last year I had more pressure, and this year's less. You see, so maybe because of that.
We actually have a fighter here in New Zealand who has just been awarded his UFC contract. He is, of course, a Frenchman, but is now calling New Zealand his home. I wondered if you knew anything about that, and what are your thoughts on French, this little takeover of French fighters?
I don't know him a lot, but I'm sure, and this is exactly what I said a few years ago, I don't know in how sport the French are not good. So I'm really confident of the French fighters, really, really. We are really good in basketball, in football, in soccer, and so every sport, and also in the arm martial. So this is just a time to prove it, and yes, you're gonna make very well, and I'm sure the crowd of New Zealand gonna be kind with him. I'm sure.
Opponent this weekend is obviously no slouch. It's Sergey Spivak. What do you make of him, and what are you expecting this weekend?
Spivak is a really good fighter. A lot of people talk about the ranking, and I don't understand also that number 7 in the top in the UFC and the top in the world. Number 7 is this means you are dangerous already. And no, he lost. He have to lost. So. We lost again 2 big guys. It was this guy, the Pulse guy, and also Thomas Pinal. So and now he's on the good race. So he is dangerous. He's confident. He have a big background in judo. This is really different than the wrestling, exactly the wrestling game, the judo, and that's why we had on the camp Cyril Marais. He helped us a lot. Cyril Marais is he have some he was champion in the world, and he did also the podium on the Olympic Games. So this is me a lot for the sensation of the judo. During this camp, I took this guy really seriously.
Now, Cyril, you might not want to talk about this, might be a delicate matter, I'm not too sure, but let's talk Jon Jones. You fought him in your last fight, obviously wasn't the result that you wanted, but what did you take away from that, and how do you use that moving forward?
A lot of experience at first, because Jon Jones is Jon Jones. He's not a simple guy. So to preparing the mindset and everything around the fight for him was a really great experience. It was a little bit short, of course, maybe. And this is different for this camp. It was a bit different for that. But yes, I had a lot of experience for myself. Even if the fight was really not long, but even if it was not long, I learned a lot, and yeah, more maturity. Every fight I had some experience, but this one it was really special because of Jon Jones, and also because of the kind of the difficulty, because it was really hard for me. Because I'm a competitor, you see. So at first it was really hard for me to lose like that. I never lose like that. I lose just one time. It was against Francis. All of my career, I'm talking about MMA and at Muay Thai, kickboxing, every fight. My first loss was against Francis. Yes, I was really sad because I lost. But with Jon Jones, I was really sad next. So this is how a lot of experience to be a man, and everything around that.
Is that a fight that you want to run back with Jon Jones?
I want to prove this Saturday. I want to do exactly the same than the last years. When I lost against Francis, I go back to France to prove I'm still here, and I did it, and I want to do exactly the same.
How was the environment as a whole facing Jon Jones? Because that was Jon Jones's comeback fight. So of course there was a lot of attention, there was a lot of media, and I wondered if that fact, perhaps played a part in your performance on the night.
You see, I'm going to surprise you, but I had really more pressure about the media for the fight with Francis. Really more. It was really different, also because of the storytelling you see with Francis, everything like that. So it was really more, or maybe because I was already prepared because of the fight of Francis. This is preparing me for Jon Jones, so that's why maybe the feeling was a little bit different. But I had really more pressure for Francis with the media, talking about the media, everything around the fight, and then the fight with Jon Jones. I was good. That's why I was really surprised of this kind of fight, because the feeling was good. The feeling was good. I was really hungry, really happy to fight against Jon Jones. So, anyway.
And finally, Cyril, Jon Jones is actually facing Stipe Miocic this November at Madison Square Garden, where you could possibly face the winner should you have a great outing this weekend. I wanted to get your predictions on that fight. Who do you see winning, Jon Jones or Stipe Miocic?
Jon Jones. I'm going to say Jon Jones.
And the co-main event for France is a very special one. It's the return of Rose Namajunas, but this time in the flyweight division. And she's here joining us to talk to us all about it. Kia ora, Rose, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, first of all, Rose, I will admit that when I saw your name on the schedule, as a fan, I got really excited. I wanted to get your thoughts on being back in camp and getting ready to compete again.
Yeah, I guess it's what I've done my entire life. So, it just kind of feels very normal and comfortable, even though it's, I should say familiar, not necessarily comfortable all the time, but it's what I know,
It's been well over a year since you last competed, since that fight against Carla Esparza. What have you been doing?
Yeah, I've bought a house and like, I guess did a lot of projects on it. It had a lot of work to be done. And then, I had my grandma move back in with me that she hasn't been back into the States since, like 14 years ago. So she's 86 years old. So there was a lot of, lot of adjusting and got her green card and stuff like that. You know, still training as much as I could. And then, took the time to build a, gym in my garage. And just ever since that happened, then it was like, then I started to like kind of focus more on that. And, yeah, that's, you know, just training and doing all that stuff.
Tending to all those real life things, you know, family, the house, the gym, was there ever a thought that crossed your mind that perhaps you wouldn't return to the UFC?
Yeah, I've talked about it, you know, a little bit already, and like, but that's kind of, I guess I've considered that for many fights now. You know what I mean? Like every time I was just like, never know when this could be the last one. You know what I mean? Like, especially just because you never know, what could happen in general. And so, yeah, I've considered walking away, but I still can do this now. And, you know, I've come back around to like, this is what I want to do. And, I feel like this is, you know, my calling, and like martial arts is obviously like, you know, my whole life. And this is like the best way that I can express myself as a martial artist right now while I'm still have the ability to do so.
How much of it is perhaps an addiction to competition? Because you aren't just a fighter in the UFC, it's big fights all the time, if not title fights. So how addictive is competition for you?
Yeah, it's kind of uncontrollable. You know what I mean? Like, and it's something that I feel like I try to like, you know, push away or disassociate with. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, my competitive drive is huge. Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Good, man. Yeah, that was, I know, that's what we always like joke about. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that's just freaking good, man. But at the end of the day, like I already learned that lesson. It doesn't matter how good I am. I have to want to be good. You know, I have to want to be here. So ultimately, like, yes, that's true. But yeah, I had to make sure that, you know, I'm being, you know, real and yeah, that this is what I actually want to do.
Talk to us about your return and coming back to the flyweight division, because obviously you're coming from strawweight. You're the former champion of that division and still very much a title contender for the strawweight. So why the flyweight division and why this opponent?
Well, I think that was just always in my plans eventually to move up to flyweight. But then like I think just the timing of it and everything, like I had already kind of fought everybody in the 115 that I was like even thinking about. And then, yeah, just like, I think over time, I never really had like a problem making weight, but it did seem kind of unhealthy after a while. Like, and just, yeah, the thought of doing that right now is just like, ooh, man, that's tough. But, also with Manon, in regards to her, she's number one contender. I mean, I remember seeing her fight for the first time. I think it was on the Contender Series. I thought she was like, I really enjoyed her striking. She stood out to me as, yeah, definitely like a badass. I think, and then ever since then, I didn't really like watch super closely, but she was just kind of in the background, but strawweight at the time. And then with this move up, I've gotten some different offers. Like I think I've been offered like Caitlin Chukagian, and then like the other name that popped up, but it was like Mackenzie Dern, which is at 115. So it was like, other than that, but nothing like really had. It was just not the right timing for any of those things, and also just not what I wanted. But then when her name popped up, that was kind of interesting. One, she had already like kind of mentioned me before. I think when she got wind of me moving up. So like that's interesting. Anybody that calls me out is like, all right, you know what I mean? Let's go. but in addition to that, just her skill, her you know what I mean? Like, I guess everything she brings to the table is what I like.
Look, I also wanted to get your thoughts on leaving the strawweight division, because you are the founder of that division. That division did not exist before you. So I wanted to know, was it hard or easy to exit out of the strawweight and make this new transition?
Oh, shoot. Dang. Yeah, I guess I didn't really consider that, but you're right. Like, that is kind of like, you know, me and Carlo were like the first strawweights to have fought for the belt and blah blah blah. So like, that's super cool. And yeah, I mean, that definitely, like, I love the strawweight division. It's been like the most competitive female division for like the longest time, and with me moving up, and then with like a lot of the kind of now Valentina having to rematch Alexa for the belt back, like all these different things, like there's just some shifts I think that are happening to where now the flyweights, I think, is going to be very interesting. And you know, not just because I'm moving up, but like just because of, like, I think just the skill level is just getting intenser, and you know what I mean. But yeah, of course, that now that you say that, it's kind of just make me a little sad.
Yeah, we kind of discussed you being a founder before. I'm not quite sure if I called you like a founding mother or the founderer person, but nonetheless, that's a little piece of history within the UFC that no one could ever take away from you.
Founder, yeah, no, keep that. Yeah, that's me. 100%, yeah. No, that's cool. Thank you. Yeah.
You are very welcome. And look, you mentioned Valentina Shevchenko. She has a rematch coming up against Alexa Grasso. I wanted to get your predictions and how you see that fight panning out.
So I'm always interested. Like, I'm a fan of both of them, but like, obviously I train with Valentina. I always, you know, she's very dear to me as far as like just somebody that I really am inspired by, and like what she's done. So I'm always interested in what she's doing. And I do believe that, you know, I think she'll get her belt back. I'm not saying that like Alexa can't do it again. I don't think what she did was a fluke or anything. Like, I think she for real just was the better fighter that night. But I just think, like, yeah, it's just like, you know, you're on top for so long, like what she's done. You know, I think she just kind of, maybe things got a little stale, and you know what I mean? Like, maybe I don't know what happened, honestly, but yeah, I think Valentina can get it back.
Well, you would know, you know, better than most as a fighter yourself, that not every night is your best night, right?
Yeah, 100%. And you know, I mean, if Alexa, you know, proves it to everybody that, you know, that was, you know, she's the next one, then, you know, like, I'll be thoroughly happy for her, you know. But I'm a Valentina fan.
Well, thank you so much, Rose. It's so great to catch up with you again, and can't wait to see you back in there.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fun.
Now, Fano, last week we made an announcement that Kevin Jousset of CKB had been awarded a UFC contract, and I am very honoured to have him joining me in studio today. Kia ora, Kevin, and welcome on in.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Look, I feel like this is a full circle moment, because we met in New York. You were there attending Israel Adesonya's title fight, and we spoke about your hopes to be in the UFC this year. We saw you at Shuriken earlier this year, and now you've made it.
Yeah, we talked about it for quite a while now, and obviously worked on this goal for a long time. And yeah, we finally made it happen. I feel that's a perfect time for me to be fighting in the UFC on the biggest show in the world. And being able to fight with 5 other guys from City Kickboxing, gonna be a great day to remember.
Absolutely. And for those who may have not seen Kevin in action yet, very exciting fighter. We were there live watching you in Shuriken. You had an amazing win, and you were sick on the night, and you got that win. Talk to us about receiving the news that it was all signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah, it felt good. Like, as I said, I've been working for it for a long time, and I was hoping to be on this card after my last fight when I won my last title in Australia in May. Mm-hmm. And the news was not coming though, so I was like, I don't know when that's gonna happen. I really hope it's gonna happen, but I'm not sure. And yeah, when Eugene told me last week, I was really happy, and I'm like, yeah, finally it's about time now, and let's show them that it's the right choice.
Talk to us about your accent, because of course it's a little foreign, it's French. So we'll talk about your heritage in a minute, but talk to us about your family and how you must have, you know, told them the news and, you know, letting you come over to New Zealand and, you know, watching your dream come true.
Yeah, for my accent, maybe I should talk a bit slower. That could
no, you're fine.
But yes, I'm French originally, and yeah, I've lived over there most of my life. When I was 21, I moved to UK, lived over there for a couple of years to learn English. Actually, I couldn't speak English back then, and then lived in Australia for 3-4 years, and then moved here in like 4 years ago now. So yeah, it's been quite a while, and yeah, that's it. And yes, for the announcement, so when I've heard about it, that was the morning here, so my family was sleeping back home, so I couldn't tell them right away, but I did a video and I sent them the video, and I did a phone call when they woke up, and obviously everyone was very happy.
Look, obviously there's many places around the world that you can go set up camp and try and spark, you know, a career in the UFC, America being one of them. Why did you choose New Zealand?
Well, as I said, I was in Australia, and I was in Australia because I was just very happy of living far from home and just discovering something new, you know, like this part of the world is quite exciting coming from France, because we don't know much about it, and once I've moved here, I really loved it. And when I was living in Australia, I've heard about City Kickboxing, which was not as big as what it is now back then. And I went there for training and get better. And obviously, I really loved the people, the team, the country, and everything. So I just decided to do the move here. And yeah, it was a few years ago now, and we're still here. So yeah, I'm very happy about it.
Well, it's absolutely paying off, isn't it? Because you're the first fighter to come from abroad to set up here in Auckland at City Kickboxing and be this new wave of fighter who's, you know, finding a home here, you know, later on towards their career and now getting a UFC contract. So talk to us about that, about Eugene and that leadership and the team around you.
Yeah, I think Eugene is obviously the biggest part of the success of the gym. He's the one who created a big family, and everyone is helping each other, professionals, amateurs, can be in the UFC or you can be not even fighting, it doesn't matter, everyone respect each other at the gym, and that's great like that. I think that's the way it should be. And yeah, I think Eugene and Doug, obviously, they both created this atmosphere at the gym, and that's the reason why there's so much success today in City Kickboxing, 100%.
Are there any similarities to what you experienced, you know, in France and growing up, you know, culture-wise? Is there any similarities to here in New Zealand with this team?
Not really, not really.
We all talk fast.
Yeah, well, that's it. No, I wouldn't say there's much similarities, to be honest, but it just fits me. It fits me very good, you know, like, yeah, it's just the way I like to be trained and the people I like to be around. And yeah, for me it works, you know, like I think as long as I'm happy living here and the team is great with me and I bring something positive to the team too, I think that's good for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk to us about, you know, making your UFC debut. You will be doing so at UFC 293 in Sydney. Very exciting. But it feels, you know, a bit of a short turnaround since announcement to fight, making your debut. So talk to us about preparation.
Yeah, how exciting, right? Yeah, I'm very happy. Like I was getting ready anyway. I was really hoping to fight in the UFC around this time. I did not really know if it was going to happen, but I was getting ready just in case. And yeah, I'm ready to go. Like I'm fighting this Irish dude, so in 10 days time now. And yeah, it should make it an exciting fight. He's an exciting striker to watch as well. So I think our styles match very good. And I'm sure people will love watching this fight. And yeah, fighting on the biggest show gonna be a great thing to remember for my first UFC fight.
It's even a little crazy to think that, you know, unfortunately, Kai Kara-France won't be on the card because of injury. And then there's just another fighter there waiting in the wings, ready to, I mean, not in the flyweight division, obviously, but there's another fighter ready to go into the UFC on a UFC stage. That's remarkable.
Yeah, for sure. I wished Kai would still be on the card, but obviously he needs to take care of his health first as a priority. But yeah, like we're still gonna be 6 on the card. That's incredible for the gym, incredible for New Zealand, and yeah, like I'm sure everyone will be watching, and so it's gonna be a day to remember, and we're gonna hopefully be 6-0 on the night. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yes, fingers crossed. Look, I spoke to Cyril Gane, UFC heavyweight, and I asked him if he had heard about you and what his thoughts were on, you know, French fighting, French MMA in general. He said that he doesn't know too much about you, but he is looking forward to seeing what you can bring to UFC 293. But I wanted to get, you know, your reaction. It's UFC Paris this weekend, a card full of French fighters. You know, MMA in France is growing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's growing. I actually never trained MMA in France. That's the funny thing about it, because when I left France, I was obviously competing a lot in judo back then. So like the base of martial arts I've done was in France, but with grappling mostly. And I studied MMA when I was in Australia. So that's the main reason why most French people don't know me. And yeah, but I'm looking forward to make sure after this fight, everyone knows me for the right reasons, and everyone will be excited to see me fight again. And I'm sure I will get the opportunity to fight in France sooner than later anyway, so it's okay. My name will just be bigger by then.
I love the confidence. I love that confidence. Next Sunday will be the big dance, UFC 293. What kind of show are you wanting to put on in the welterweight division? I know whenever a CKB fighter takes to that octagon, there's a lot of attention.
100%. I'm looking to make a statement. Like, getting the contract is good. Everyone has been asking me how excited, how happy and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy, I'm excited, but I don't overthink about it. Because now that I'm in there, it's just starting. I need to make sure when I do my first fight in the UFC, I make a statement and everyone understands and I'm the guy, you know? And that's what I'm looking forward to, like being smart and collected, but doing a statement on UFC 293.
Nice. That's very exciting. Look, before you go, I wanted to get your thoughts on the Rugby World Cup. Of course, the All Blacks are coming up against the French. First of all, who are you supporting? And B, choose your answer carefully.
That's a tricky one, right? Well, I'm French, obviously, so I'm going to go with my country, where I was born and where I grew up most of my life. So I'll definitely be supporting the French team, but I know that France versus New Zealand is always a great game to watch. And I'm sure I'll be watching with all the boys when we will be in Sydney, Australia. And whoever loses is not gonna spend a great day, because we're probably gonna do a lot of drugs. But yeah, I'm looking forward for this game. It's gonna be good, and whoever wins, hopefully they do the rematch for the final a month later. So that will be good too.
Nice one. Look, it's a win-win situation for you, whether, you know, All Blacks or the French win. So you're cheating a little bit, but that's all right. Look, Kevin, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in Sydney next week.
100%. Thank you for having me once again. Thank you.